was good.
Glad to hear.
Okay, restarted.
We had a lot of mechanical issues, haven't we?
Honestly, this is pissing me off a lot.
Did Steam update or something?
It's not Steam.
I mean, not Steam, but
No, there's no update. I looked for it. It's not on the Twitch side.
could it be your computer itself?
I don't know. I've done everything short of restarting the entire machine.
Oof.
Close down the browser. Reopen the browser. Reload the tab. Close the tab. Open a new tab. It still doesn't work.
Unfortunate.
So, I don't know. And I tried going into another place to ask for help and couldn't get any. So, I don't know what the fuck to do.
Oh, just continue.
Yeah. Just
I.
having the technical difficulties visual up.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm going to change it to a black screen if I can. There we go. Black screen. Everybody loves a black screen.
What about a blue screen?
No. No. Blue screen bad. Blue screen bad.
Green screen?
Green screen's fine.
But I'm back. Are we ready?
Yes,
I
no,
am
maybe so.
ready to go. Is Shake back?
Shigure?
Doesn't sound like it.
I'm back.
Alright.
There he is.
Welcome back.
Well, I tried. I failed. I don't know what to do now.
Heal them.
Kill the man.
Heal them, Anakin. No? Okay. Worth a try.
So, what happens in the morning?
In the morning, you will be taken to the room to discuss matters. All individuals are present again.
Are they fighting again?
They seem to be quiet for the moment. uh, Avon just seems to be sitting there in his chair. Jordan seems to be standing over to the side of the table, just staring across it. The individual from Umbral Hood seems to be standing over on your guys' side, and Gil seems to be somewhat sitting in a chair over in the corner, which, considering it's not a very large tent, is no more than like 5 feet away. And Alum just seems to be standing there over in the background. At which point you all come in. Gil just sort of gives your lot a nod. And Jordan seems to have her hands on some papers, most likely new reports that came in. Gil seems to have already replaced the map present with the one that Tom supplied, which seems to be a lot more detailed map for the rest of you guys compared to the one they had previously, showing all kinds of new landmarks and other notations out to the side.
Well, it's a damn good thing that we found him when we did. He was planted, probably.
He's a plant? No, he's an undead.
He can be an undead plant.
Possible, but then he'd just be an undead, no longer a plant.
I guess it depends on if you can do like some sort of modifications. We'll ask the alchemists later.
So, as Gil says, everyone's present. Shall we begin? Humble Hood just turns head and just sort of stares daggers at Gil for a moment and turns back from under the hood. Jordan reports, it's like, very well. In regards to my individuals, the clerics are stretched too thin. We're running out of spells to basically heal the injured. I recommend that we pull back a little bit, especially the Dread Whispers, which continue to pull further away, chasing after bigger game, such as the three skulled undead they keep talking about, which seem to generate an unending army of undead, and then the ones with weird tattoos and crystal eyes, which seem to be giving them quite a bit of difficulty.
Crystal eyes. Oh no, this is. Are these the White Walkers from Game of Thrones, Mike?
No, although these are all things that you had
Worse.
basically learned about previously by Tall, Dark, and Creepy, and seems like
No, no,
Red
no, no,
Whispers
no,
have
no.
run into all of them.
No, that was Tall Dark and
Project
Merchanty.
and Merchanty.
Merchant, okay.
That one, okay, we have T-Dac and T-Dam.
My apologies. So as for the masked merchant, information that you'd gotten previously, who may or may not be an undead himself. Who knows? At which point, Advin just stands up and says, very well. I will have them recalled, at least for the time being, to tend to injuries and also help with supply train. We can refocus their efforts elsewhere. As for Crescent Shards, they have made great deal of progress and are nearly at the intended target, ahead of schedule. Though Libram seem to have run into difficulties with the tower, they have suffered some setbacks. Which point Gil responds, don't you mean several people ended up dead when they tried opening the door? Umbrohood just responds, serves him right. Should leave the job to a locksmith.
Just a locksmith.
Which
Hang
point
on a second.
they'll all start raising their voices and start chattering about who should do what, how this should be handled. This so and so's group should be reallocated. There's too much for them to handle. Crescent Shard are way too far away outside supply chains. They're going to be surrounded and picked off. Uh, the Midnight Dawn's forces are going to be dwindled and even get picked off if this keeps stretching forces. Not to mention they are running out of
Okay.
turnings also, and they need more supplies. Otherwise, people will start dying. Libris Mortem needs Libris Sanctum Arcana needs support immediately. Dread Whisper offered to give assistance, but it's going to take them a couple of days to get out there, and they need proper supplies now that their troops are healed. Although there seems to be another which has a different opinion on the matter. At which point things get a little bit quieter as Jordan's like, what are you talking about? Gil's like, that's the first I've heard of you taking orders from someone. And she just stares past and looks over at Alum, which seems to put down a small bottle and walks up, standing next to Avon. Says, I do have matters that need attending to sooner rather than later, and could prove beneficial, though it will require a small portion of your, which point Umbral Hood basically just cuts him off. Bullshit. You want to take most of my underlings, plus most of the mercenaries you dragged out here, and even one of the Horizon March members, and send them off to God knows where to do something for whatever you're hiding behind. Meanwhile, requiring me to move on without them, and if they wind up dead, it's my neck on the chopping block, since you're protected or whatever you have going on. Which point Gil responds, well, I don't agree with that. I'm just starting to like Sam. I don't want her dead. She also seems to be a halfway decent crafter, maybe.
Oh, oh,
Sam's just keeping her mouth shut because all he's seeing is the little pottery thing project she's got going in the corner of his tent.
Jordan basically responds, I don't care. This has no point upon our current issues. It's great that you're going to get the Dread Whippers if they listen to you and come back. Yes, Libram needs assistance for what they're doing, and I have no idea what the Crescent Shards are up to. They refuse to answer my recalls, my request. Evan basically responds, they don't require your assistance nor your supplies, and are fulfilling what I have asked of them. Have a little faith, Jordan. Her mouth just sort of like hangs open as she
Damn!
just clutches her holy symbol.
Damn!
oh.
Shot to the heart.
For it's too late.
No, that
Now,
shot through
in
the heart.
regards to matters, you all know that I am in charge, despite what you may want, and for obvious reason, as I can get results. Despite I'd rather be doing other things myself, like being out on the battlefield. But we deal with what has been handed to us. Apparently, I am necessary to be here. Dread Whisper will do as I ask, because I know their commander and he knows me. It will be done, Jordan. It needs to be done. As for Gil, I ask that your individuals keep working hard. I appreciate their service, and we are doing their best to keep them alive. The information supplies you handle are needed. I'd ask that Umbral Hood take what troops they have, get supplies they need. I will allocate another member to them, and you will head out. No comment from you. Do you hear me? You will go with what you have, and you will go help Libram. You will have your individuals back once Alum is done with them. Are there any complaints? Gil just sort of like raised his hand, puzzled. Who are we taking orders again from here? Because last time I checked, sir, you're in charge of maintaining us. I'm in charge of my people. What exactly does this Alum fella have over all of us? I mean, he's not a guild rep. I mean, he has some connections, obviously, and holds a rank equal to us, but that doesn't give him authority over me. You're all dismissed. See to matters. Quickly. I'd hate for any more loss of life out on the battlefield. Jordan, if I could talk to you after I am done. I have some encouraging news for you. She seems a little bit happier and sort of takes her leave. Gil just sort of gets up and leaves, slightly puzzled, looking back over again at Alum. And the Umbral Hood agent just sort of takes hands off table and walks out. Just sort of looks over at Estella and whispers, watch yourself.
Stella gives a nod. Trust me, I've been doing it with dumb contract that my captain dumbly agreed on.
I don't know what deal you made, but remember where your loyalties lie. wisp,
Understood, sir.
and then just steps out. Which point, after they pretty much close the temp flats and he's sure that they're a good distance away, he'll just sit back down. That has gone well. Pretty sure I managed to piss them all off this time.
Mission accomplished?
Mm,
They're focusing their anger on me. They don't have time to argue amongst themselves. So, yes, you seem to have followed quite well. Although I'm sure Jordan has come to the same conclusion, considering my remark. Tends to be one of the most competent ones among the bunch, although Gil catches quickly. Though your commander's a little green, I'm sure they'll piece things together quickly.
Aye. But may I ask, sir, what exactly are we being. Well, where are we going?
Just turns as the armor just basically grinds in metal and looks over at Alum. I leave it to you. Alum steps forward. Excellent. Turns, gives a bow. I appreciate this opportunity. Avon responds, you get one. It's all I can afford you. Don't waste it. Alum will proceed around the table to you and goes, real simple. I will be borrowing you as time is short, and I imagine things are not going to play out well. So we need to stack the deck.
Oh, joy.
He hands Estella a document. As you unfurl it, it's a map basically pieced together from Tome's markings plus the old maps, what's been explored by Dread Whisper, and looks like a path that the Crescent Shard has taken, headed north toward the capital. You will follow this path. Most of the obstacles have been already cleared by the preemptive group thanks to Avon setting the Crimson Shards forward. You'll travel 4 days north, at which point you should reach the remnants of a town. Once you find a safe location there in Telsbeth, you are to enact the second contract and open the box and proceed with matters.
You are accompanying us to oversee this, correct, Alm?
I will be traveling with you, although I will only be able to go as far as the town. The rest will rely upon you once you've started. Turns over and looks at Sam, the ritual.
Ah. So, in other words, there is no way for us to even get a healer to accompany with us on this matter as well? Unless you manage to trick someone to join us.
You will have the individuals which have traveled with us so far and have signed up for the contract. They will secure the area and ensure you have a safe return. Not to mention help with night watch and other obstacles you may run into along the way. Of course, I speak of Walter, Bill, and Aaron, seeing as we won't have the assistance of the Umberhood as they are needed elsewhere. And I could and would not, as he looks back over at Avon, which just seems to have his head down looking at the map, ask to borrow any more individuals, as I would surely be denied.
Alright.
So you'll be
what about
traveling.
what about the other groups? Or are you still or same reason?
You mean the other guilds?
Yeah.
As you heard, Horizon March is completely dispatched, and with everyone else handling supply trains and trying to ensure matters, the Midnight Dawn are stretched way too thin. Dread Whispers will be several days before they get back. The Crescent Shards have already cleared most of your path for you, though, as you're aware, undead tend to get back up. And Liber Sanctum is in over their head. Thus, Dread Whispers are going to assist them.
Well, let's get this damn show out of here.
But as you said, you have me.
Let's get this shitstorm over with.
At which point, Avon will stand up and He will remark, I wish you well. I look forward to seeing you again soon.
That is our hope as well.
Hmm.
And Sam will give him a bow of respect.
At which point he'll set back down in his old armor and just sort of look around for a moment like, where did I put my sword?
Old habits die hard.
At which point you guys will leave out with At which point, waiting outside the tent is Jordan, who will go back in as she just sort of like stares at for a moment and proceeds in. At which point, Walter, Bill, and Aaron will come walking up with backpacks loaded to the brim with supplies. Say, so, got the message. We're heading out already?
Uh huh.
Hmm.
Sam reaches into her
Apparently,
bag, pulls out a bunch of stuff, hands it to Aaron, says, "You're probably going to want these."
Uh,
I
okay.
hand him 7 wands.
Ooh. He will take them. What type of wands?
Post it and loot. 6 magic missiles, 1 burning hands,
and a
10 charges
partridge in the
each.
pear tree.
No partridge.
Aw.
Alright, so he can get his hands on wands.
They're all guild loot items, so they might as well get used up.
Estella just fixes herself and it's just like, alright, we got a shitstorm, and then we got another shitstorm.
Uh, Out of character, this is all within the same day, correct?
Yes. So you've been at this camp for like 2 full days, and now you're going back out again.
On the road
Okay.
again.
Can't wait to
Hang
get
on.
on the road again.
Wait, before we leave, like, Ash says, well, let me just. Well, I guess if. I don't know if she will listen to me, but. mm, Better late than never. Better now than never, then. Ash goes, well, Ash is Jordan. Is that Jordan person who's joining us the leader of the mid crap? Got the name already?
No, she's
No.
already inside talking to the boss.
Okay.
She's not going with.
Okay, just being sure. Okay, then Ash goes over into the tent, like, just give me a few minutes. I just want to ask.
You start to turn around and it's like, hold it.
Oh,
That's not a meeting for us to walk into.
Mm,
If you've got something with her or him, actually, I stop. DM, was Jordan male or female?
It's a
Female.
Female. Okay.
female.
So
Looks
if
like to be heavily armored, gold plated, wearing like paladin, possibly.
okay, Sam's gonna go. If you got something with either of them, I recommend going through Alum first. He's got pull, and she at the moment doesn't like us and is tolerating us.
Ash just groans, like, ask Alan, like, what do you think? Is this like the only time I should ask her or not?
I think we are ready to depart, as supplies are ready and all are present. What matters they have to discuss do not concern us.
Ash just sighs, like, look, well, looks like I have to wait. Looks like I can't get my head fixed yet.
hmm.
It seems to be fine as it rests on your shoulders, as Oliver remarks.
Not that, it's just he grows and holds onto his head. Again, is that weird ghost touch again.
Hmm.
He did tell me to talk with Jordan when I can tonight, but I wasn't able to because you were all busy in the meeting.
Sometimes matters slip through one's fingers, much like sands through one's fingers.
So what? We should wait until I should wait until we're done with this and come back here.
That is one option. Shall we proceed out of the base camp and on to our destination?
Yes.
Might as well.
I.
I have some
At which
stuff
point,
to drop off, unless somebody here can use divine magic.
Nope.
Magic.
I didn't think so. So I can hand this over to Gil real quick, and then we can go. There's no point in me taking it with us if it's of no use to us.
fair enough. You'll be walking by the Horizon March tent anyway, so you'll be able to pop in, see Guild, and Drop that off. Tom will be staying behind. Guild recommends it as there's still quite a bit that he can share and bits of information, and it's quite useful. He'll
Yep.
keep a good eye on him.
And so I leave behind Michael the two wands of detect magic because
Fair
they will
enough.
do me absolutely no good.
They could do shit, Cap.
Well, the reason they do no good for me is because I have infinite uses of it. There's no point in me having two wands of it.
Yeah. Only had a way to drain wands or burn them,
Well, I
then
can meta
there's
magic
little
them, but
spells. So
I
yeah,
can boost them. I can't drain them. Well, I can eat them, but they're guild property.
yeah, and there's zero, so I'm not gonna really get anything worth
Yeah,
squat out of
no.
them.
It would
So
have
you'll
been
drop.
funny to see you eat a stick.
Nom nom nom.
Um, Basically, she'll focus on it and it turns to dust as she
Aw.
consumes the magic in it. But I'll also collect my little side project, which has had a day to work on.
Excellent. At which point you guys will all proceed out and pre-rolling. I'm happy to say you make it all 4 days there, considering that you only have one encounter during the night, and it's like just a couple of skeletons and zombies, which I'll just argue skip combat as NPCs were on watch and they take care of it.
Yeah, I will offer some more grave dust arrows to Walter if he wants more.
He will be happy to take them as they were unwilling to part with any while here.
I've got 20 of those if he wants them.
He will take all 20.
Because this is stuff from Stam's stockpile originally.
That'll put him back up on a good portion of arrows, especially since he's going to probably be rapid shotting. So
Does it still
100
need
arrows
some more
goes
holy
quick.
water?
He
I will
probably don't
gladly
hold
take
more.
more. Oh.
Estella, I was going to say, will probably take more. He's happy to have that
That's
stuff.
why I was asking. Is like I know she's used a few. Does she need more?
It never hurts to have more.
How many do you want?
How many do you got?
19.
That's
I'll take 9.
All right, 9 you can have.
What you selling? I don't know. What do you need?
How many you need? What kind of dealer are you? One with access to a lot of stuff. I mean, the
I think
sheer amount of weaponry she has is also ridiculous.
I just find like that interaction in general funny.
I mean, +1 scimitar, +1 longsword, +1 short sword, +1 frost greatsword.
See, I have a +1 sword that I can make that. I don't need that.
Oh, that's not counting the katana and the wakizashi,
Oh, exactly.
or the halberd, or the mace, or the short sword, or the.
That fucking other sword.
How big an armory do I need?
Sam, can we please make you like some sort of like cape or something that says walking armory?
No, I don't like
Aw.
attracting attention.
Aw.
Alrighty. So at which point you guys will proceed for 4 days. They have the food necessary for you, so you don't have to deduct it from your own list, and actual trail rations and water, of course.
Actually, that was a question. Does anybody in the party want a ring of sustenance?
I actually requested for that.
Okay, then you can have it.
Yay.
I
oh,
still
but it
had it
won't
on my
go
loot
active.
list.
Yeah, but it won't go active with until a week.
Yeah,
That's
Well,
fine.
that's 4 days down,
4 days
so
down.
getting
Yeah,
there.
Hey, I don't have to eat anymore? Yay, that means more rations for my crew.
saves money.
Yes.
And let's sleep too. We still need 2 hours of sleep, but let's sleep.
Yes, and I can have my paranoia be on the extra.
hmm
That's the main reason why.
Besides which, I also have the Goodberry bracelet, so I can just pass out food for everybody.
Awesome. That definitely saves money.
That's only 5, but yes. Although, yeah.
Hmm.
So after the 4 day trek up north and following the hills, the path that laid out, which is a little bit winding and turning and takes you through some rough patches, thanks to Tom's navigation and that of the Crescent Shard's previous trek. You eventually reach the outskirts of the town, which seems to be a decent sized, probably former trading town, considering the larger warehouse style building that Sam notices. Upon proceeding into the town, there are scores of undead which start coming up. At
No.
which point Alum points over to a small house and says that one will be fine and tells you to proceed in there and get started as they will defend the structure and that he
Es-
will see you when you are done.
Estella holds out her potions. Y'all want some?
I think I'm good as soon as he has sprayed his sword and has cobble ready.
Come on, we got work to do. Let's go.
That's not what I meant, but okay.
Had time to plan and prepare. Now's not the time.
I was holding out potions from hide from undead.
I think we'll probably need it. Not right now, but later.
All right then. Let's go and perform this goddamn ritual. Hi
Besides, it's probably
ho,
gonna
hi,
take more than 10 minutes.
hi ho, hi ho, hi ho.
So
Out we shall go.
whatever this ritual is,
So, DM, once we get in that building, or do we have any problems getting in the building?
No problem. Rickety door almost falls off its hinges. You step inside, close the door behind you, and you hear the others outside fighting as arrows get shot. Someone's stabbing something, probably with a spear. You hear spells being chanted, and you hear crushing of bones, probably from Alum. And there you are in a dusty small house. It looks very poorly maintained. It was probably old and rickety even before things got
So
as bad as they are.
Estella takes out everything and begins.
Yep. I will assist. Ash, keep an eye on the room, please. Just because I don't want to make sure something doesn't come out of another room or through a window.
What
All right.
happened?
At which point you will pull out the footlocker with the lock and key and the strange clockwork chest with an hourglass atop it. And you will use the key to open the footlocker. Inside will be some clothing and what looks to be hats and circlets
Oh, Jesus.
and a note
Saying
along
almost
with
where?
what looks to be some other items. And the note will basically inform you to take what looks like a small metal disc and place it in the appropriate slot on top of the clockwork chest.
Little did we know we were carrying a tactical nuke with us the whole time.
Divine nuke.
No, mana bomb.
Mana
Anyway,
bomb.
we will proceed with as the instructions dictate.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
you'll take the little geared coin about the size of your palm, place it in the slot on top, at which point it will slide right in. It will click and lock in place and spin ever so slightly, and the hourglass will freeze as the sands will stop turning, and you'll see a slight flash of light in the room,
Oh hell no, not another time adventure.
and at which point the box will open up. And inside you'll see quite a few other little items of what appears to be importance and a long list of instructions telling you what to do. In addition, inside the clockwork is an isolated side over to the left, which consists of a smaller chest pretty much welded into that box and seems to be attached to the hourglass. On top of the box seems to be a much smaller hourglass, which is almost completely frozen upon close examination. You can see like a grain of sand falling in like super slow motion.
Do we hear the sound of combat outside?
You hear the noise of screaming and yelling outside,
Okay. Wait. Different screaming and yelling or the same?
like that of a woman's voice.
Okay, that's very different. I don't like that idea at all.
We
Oh boy.
can't deal with it. Anyway, we need to focus on this, and we will begin the instructions.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Follow the instructions. I have a very bad idea about what this is, but
The instructions will read off in short to this extent. How it is written is basically in the aquatic and also the
I can read it.
Is it gonna be in Dalkir or something?
no.
no.
It's
Is that the only?
listed in the aquatic and Orion tongue. So basically water and air. Basically written the written alphabet will be that of Elven and Draconic.
Which Estella has both, thankfully. The only thing we don't
Uh-huh.
have is the fire one.
Mm-hmm.
Ignan.
Yep.
But everything changed with the Ignam Nation attack.
Oh, you know we're in a war zone already, right? Don't be tempting shit.
Shut up.
It was just a joke.
Anyway, it was a it was a good joke, but badly poured. I meant badly
Badly.
timed.
English woman, do you speak it?
Difficult
Rarely.
with difficulty. But we
Okay.
follow the instructions, or at least Estella will relay the instructions on what to do because the rest of us can't read it.
Uh-huh.
As she pulls it out and starts reading over it, do you do so aloud or beforehand?
I will read it beforehand and then read it aloud.
Your eyes will get rather large as you get halfway through, and as you get to the bottom, your mouth will probably drop
We're like, Stella,
as
what's
you
going?
kind of disbelieve what you're reading.
As Sam's watching that, it's like, let me guess. This is a time displacement thing that sent us back in time to when the war was happening on the island, and this thing will fix that.
God?
Wait, we're
Um,
going back in time again?
and not so many words in a small sense. Yes, as you basically hear children and people talking outside, and you realize it's a little bit lighter through the windows.
Wait,
And
oh,
as Estelle starts reading off, she says, it basically says, this is recommendations and requirements for your current task to be fulfilled per the agreement and contract which you signed and was approved by Killian, handled by Alum. You are to fulfill the following tasks. Task 1, proceed to the neighboring town and meet with a designated individual who handles a shop and request items and supplies there using a specific code. Upon afterwards, you are to proceed to the next task and drop off 3 of the 4 supplies at a location which is said to be a lake which only you know of and does not exist on any maps.
Oh boy.
Then you are to go to the neighboring kingdom and meet with individuals there and speak to them, provided with the documents that you will pick up, and speak to a named individual there. He will then introduce you to an individual. You are to sway him into giving you a royal decree along with a guard of high standing positions, weaponry. You are then to return to the other kingdom of Vale. You are to get an audience with their high seer and kill him. After which, you are to assist with any other matters related to the aforementioned individuals you have met with in the other kingdom and also the group at the specified non existent lake. And over the next 2 years, manage things before returning back from which you came.
You're
Two,
fucking kidding me.
I was like, wait a minute.
Oh,
Did you
for
say?
fuck's
Did
sake.
he say 2 years? Would that
It
be?
then has
Well,
a listing at the bottom saying that the current time frame you are in is the year 874,
8.
approximately 2 years, 1 month, 6 days before the war broke out between the two kingdoms on this continent.
Yeah. Um.
Oh,
And the
You said the year
clothing
was
and
what?
supplies inside consist of dated clothing that you're not familiar with, but considering that the headbands are magical and the clothing is old fashioned, it would help you blend in.
Headbands of disguise.
Ash was like, Ash said, no, no, not again,
Hey,
no.
Sam's gonna smack
is
him. Stop yelling. You're gonna just draw attention.
Estelle just punches him in the face. Seriously, dude, get a hold of yourself.
Thank you. I needed that.
I can hit you harder.
Shit.
He was. Hers was enough.
Okay. I was afraid of this.
Well then,
Because, according to the timeline, how much you want to bet we're the ones that start the war?
let's choose and ignore that, okay? Let's continue. Anyway,
It does have a little note on the back side of the document written in the same corresponding two languages, which basically informs you that the supplies here will help with clothing and attire, in addition to slight transportation as needed. You also have two items of value till you get to meet with the individual. First one seems to be a large copper coin, almost the size of a medallion with strange markings on it. You've seen something similar in Alm's hand on two occasions, one of which he gave to the tall, dark, and merchanty individual.
so
And mhm,
so this is exactly what Estella does. Well, I'm in a shitty spot again. Uh, she'll put on the headband to change her clothes, and then she'll change her form.
fair enough. The other item inside the chest is a small wooden box with no locking mechanism. And the note basically says on the back, for emergencies, use this, but follow instructions inside before attempting to do so.
Oh, great. Great.
So, what type of clothing?
Since there is about 8 outfits in there consisting of dresses appropriate for the time frame, pretty much merchant styled clothing, so slightly above commoner status, and also other types of clothing more appropriate for men. So you have four men, four women's outfits, dresses, pants, and shirts. So basically, two dresses for women, two pants and shirts, and then four outfits for men, consisting of almost like shorts and shirts, and then pants and shirts, a little more
Uh-huh.
dressy with vests and without.
So, uh, early European, Greek.
Kind of medieval style, multi layered dresses
Oh, dear God.
Oh God.
with like
Not
a
happening.
corset and such. And then for the
Oh.
guys, basically the tunic with the vest and the pants and such.
Takes one look at the dress, says, nope.
Ash just starts undressing slowly and also starts dressing up in this weird uniform, and he looks down and he just looks as like look like a weird gentleman from those old from my old movie.
I have
Movies.
no idea what you're talking
Idea.
about.
Oh, I mean, portraits. I mean, you've seen portraits before, right?
Yes.
Of fancy looking dudes.
Oh, you mean a nobleman? Yes.
Yes,
No,
yes, that's
this
what I meant.
isn't that. This is lower
No,
class.
this is merchants.
Michael, can I roll a history check to see if I can remember anything about this time frame?
I'm gonna roll history too.
I'm
Okay.
just gonna sit there and try to put on the stupid corset.
I actually have history for Ash.
They'll dress up in their appropriate little dress.
That's not a good history check.
I am not going with that dress.
Doesn't hold a sword well on it.
No, no, no.
What? You don't want to be what's her face? Crap. You don't
Kira
want to be
Knightley.
Saber. No, you don't want to be Saber.
No.
You could make up a.
Uh,
I'm sure. I'm
Ash
sure.
has no clue. Looks like ancient old people stuff. And Sam's like, it's a little dated, but it's also not too far fetched, but something about it you just hate. Mostly the dress.
Mostly the dress. That's why she's ignoring the dress.
But yeah, the clothing style isn't too surprising to you. Some of the colors and everything seem very familiar. It's like, yeah, this would be appropriate for the time and blending quite well. We're not going to pass for commoners, but we're not going to pass for nobility either. And if we're going to do a lot of traveling, merchants is a good cover.
And that's
So I don't
part of
care.
what
So I
Sam
don't
is.
care. How many years are we in the past now? Like 300 now?
Like how far back from their current starting time of the game?
No, from the current time we were to the
Oh,
current
you mean
one
your
we're now.
previous pastime to now?
300?
Yeah.
Mm.
You were in the year 1127, and now you're in 874. So you are 253 years further in the past,
Dang it! I'm not going to get my airship.
which you were 200 previously from the starting game time frame. So now you're like 500.
Right.
I
We're not
want my
even.
airship.
Right. Wait. I don't think the festival hasn't even started anymore, and Ebunstalt hasn't been founded yet, has it?
Nope.
Nope.
Uh, Ebunstalt has not been founded yet. It was founded in 977. So you're
Mm.
103 years before Ebunstalt
No, Ebunstalt
existed.
was 1027 according to your timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, 1027.
Yeah, still another
First event.
150 years.
So wait. Would that Ash? Wait. Would that mean that the heroes are now alive or not?
The first airship hasn't been created yet since that's 972, but
I know.
the heroes are still like 100 to 200 years before you, as they would have
Uh,
been basically back in like 640 time frame, early 600s. So you're still about 150 to 200 off probably for them, for their exploits and such. But you're a lot closer. So I
Sam,
mean, history
Hmm,
about them is going to be a lot more current.
do me a big favor, dear.
maybe.
Can you tie this?
Oh, yeah.
There.
Well, hold it.
Thank you.
As she helps you adjust into it and then cinches it.
Oh God. All right. This is fine. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's.
I don't wear these for a reason.
At least you can adjust your rib cage and shape and structure to fit better.
All right. Let's
Changeling.
go through the voices.
Yeah, like I said, there's a reason I don't wear those. Then they don't do me a whole lot of good.
Well, to be fair, it could be a lot worse. I've there was a time where I had to pass off as someone's courtesan. That was a fun time.
I'll
Ash is
take your word
just
for
like
it.
Ash just looked at his suit, so just trying to figure out how the he has never worn.
Okay,
Crap.
first of all, you got this piece wrong. It goes over here, and this, and this, and this goes here, and this goes here, and Sam will just basically fit him into what he's supposed to be wearing because
Wait,
apparently he
wait,
doesn't
wait,
have a
wait.
clue.
Isn't the hat supposed to be suited that way?
I'm not
No,
wearing a hat, and I'm not wearing this hat. And how the hell do I? Okay, can you make this tie? Come
that's why I
on.
said Sam is going to get both of you set up in your clothes properly, which
No
might make
tie,
you both
just a
stop and
nice
think of like,
vest.
wait, how does Sam know how to do
Okay.
this?
And Stella does not give two flying fucks at this point. Uh, all right. Should I go by a new pseudonym? Hmm.
Uh, probably. Now,
Hmm.
if you'll excuse me, unlike some people, I do not dress in public. Because then she will step around a corner to a side room and then change.
There's
Ash
one
goes.
little corner in the back, and you're able to go mostly out of sight and change over there.
Ash goes ahead and looks around and sits in the bag for any more supplies. And brings out a dog brush in a little bowl. Like, why do we need this?
Well, the dog brush wouldn't
It's
be in there. That's in the other bag.
Like, out of character is a reference to seven.
Oh, I already have the dog brush. That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Okay.
basically all that's left in there is it's like 20 gold coins appropriate for the time, and then there's the circlet, the hat, the headband, and then another little cap,
Yo,
which are
Sam.
magical in nature, which Sam tells you the magic words are on inside of them and basically allow you to hide or alter your form, which could be good to conceal your weapons as like walking sticks or otherwise augment your appearance further.
All of my weapons.
You don't carry a physical weapon.
I have the short bow.
Eh. So, DM,
And then
question. When fitting everything on, can I fit the chain shirt under it?
under the clothing,
Yes.
uh, you can. It's going to be a little bit rough, kind of up against your skin, even with an undershirt, but it's doable to conceal it for the most part. It shows a little bit around the collar, but
Okay.
Estella adjusts it and then like
I can fix that with the hat.
and she's saying, "All right, how does this look?" I feel ridiculous.
Once I've got everything set up and adjusted, I will then come back around looking like a normal person.
She would look like a normal person.
I look like a very armored person.
so Stella's
So
physical
I
appearance is altered, got a
so
fancy dress on to look like a merchant's wife, and then Sam's basically got the hat to help cover up the armor disguise to make the
Armor and plus the rest of my
clothing and
magical gear.
everything
yeah,
look more normal. And then
as
there's Ash.
as looks normal except for the what's that thing on his arm?
You might want to fix that.
What's that
I
thing in your hand? I know. Give me something to work. What are you? Sorry,
head
Cabo, but
things up.
I have an idea.
Just
Is this
make it
gonna
look like
sound?
normal skin.
I can't make it look like normal skin, so I have a better idea to do.
Yes, you can. It's an illusion.
Explosion.
I
Pick
can't
up one
do
of the
illusion.
hats, put it on, and say
Here,
the
give me
magic
this.
word and
Oh,
blink.
Sam
oh,
takes
the
it
hat.
off of you, takes hers off, adjusts it, and then hands it back to you. Try it now.
Okay, he just thinks it, and Cabo looks like he disappears.
Yeah, basically
Huh?
makes it look like you have like gloves on and just bare skin, like he's not even there.
There.
Cabo, you still? Oh, that's right. Yes, I'm still here.
I guess you have no knowledge and skill in magic items. I'll have to remember that.
Apparently, illusion magic is a mystery to the child.
Wait. Does that mean we can stop pulling things? Wait, no. I'll talk to I'll talk to Seven on that.
By the way, the fourth hat of disguise, Michael, or headband, I would be putting on seven and disguising the spiked collar and skulls.
Most likely,
Although the little name tag, the dog tag, will still be there.
Hello, I am dog.
depending whether Seven for Nyx chooses to take more human appearance and be a druid, or chooses to stay in doggo form and just well disguised
Yeah.
as a merchant's pet.
Don't know, but it's a good just general go to.
So, um,
And
how
then,
does Jackson sound?
are you going male or female?
Wearing a dress.
You're wearing a dress, so you might as well
I
go female. Oh, and Michael, if allowed, Sam will rattle off some appropriate, average, common female names. Appropriate for the time period.
Most definitely. Name about two or three pretty common first names and such, which is player Estella can pick something.
Margaret.
Martha.
Wait.
I think I'll call myself Jonathan.
good thing you didn't pick
Okay.
Bill.
Is it? What was that?
And here's your good friend Dio.
The player is remarking it's a good thing you didn't pick Bill.
Probably wind up getting punched.
Yeah. Bill's such a weird. I mean, I wasn't even thinking of Bill. So yeah.
Good. So you are John.
Jonathan, John, yes.
John. Simple. Easily forgetful.
It's probably a Dina, the L'Oreal. Margaret. Margaret works. Ugh, I don't like it. Mine's
Jonathan. So Jonathan, Margaret, and where are you going with Sam?
Sam.
Sam.
Sam. So okay. Well,
Sam
are
is
we
what I
ready to
am.
go? Well, are we ready to go see how this time is like now?
Let's collect all our stuff, make sure we left nothing behind, no evidence, no trace. And according to the instructions, does the box have to stay here?
You are unable to move the box from its location.
Okay, that answered
Huh.
that question.
Dimensional anchor.
Upon removing
Okay.
the stuff from the box, it'll basically seal up and basically blends to where it appears as a wooden box, dilapidated and old, matching the structure.
She kind of sniffs. I don't want to be here.
Wait,
Oh, there's no way
why
out
did we have?
until it's done.
It's up to us and us only. So, as I was
Well, no reason to
saying,
get so dark and dour about it. I mean, we can enlist local help. We just can't tell them what we're doing.
so there's a saying, there's a saying back in my time that goes with you, so oh crap, here we go again.
That saying's been around for
Forever.
longer than you've been alive. Okay, longer than I've been alive. And I don't even know how
Uh,
Sure.
long that's been.
Ye old no. Anyway,
Oh, shit, here we go again.
she opens the fucking door.
And out we go.
You guys pack up your clothing, you grab the little medallion coin, and you grab the little wooden box. As you do, it kind of jingles with something inside. And grab the instructions, the map that Om gave you, and you head outside. At which point you hear kids screaming, people running around, and it's an active market. Sunlight shining down, fields, workers, wagons coming through. People are alive.
I'm going to take advantage of
Yes,
this market.
you are definitely not in Kansas anymore.
I'm so
I
going to
thought
take
you said,
advantage of this market.
at Michael, for a moment, I thought you said you open up the door, and this is a good point to stop.
No.
I,
We could
that would have
stop
been a
here
big.
unless you guys want to proceed
No.
on next town.
Let's check around this town first.
Yeah. One thing we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on people. We're going to peruse the market, figure out what's up, what's available, collect some more local coinage.
Well, you got goods to trade.
So
Yes.
I assume that we can't use our own money because
It's minted wrong.
It's
Well,
wrong.
yes, we can, but
time paradoxes.
no, it's called melting it down.
Yes.
It may draw some attention too, especially if it's from a town that doesn't exist or from a different kingdom. It could result in issues.
That's why I said you melt it down.
Mhm.
Melt it down to where the single gold stands, and you just slam it on the thing.
I'm gonna have Ash do a spot and listen check to see if he could gather. Well, I would throw gather information, but I don't. He's not a class skill. Just listen and spot.
Talsbeth seems to be a decent sized town consisting of about anywhere between 3 to 400 people, most likely.
Hmm.
Uh,
Uh, I do have a question for the DM, not about the town. All those potions and such, I collected all those vials. Were the vials themselves marked?
If they originally came from the guild, yes. If they were regular potions, then no.
Okay. There's no way.
well, the guilds aren't getting these back anytime soon.
I wasn't planning on returning the vials. Um. So DM, is there any place around that I could be able to sell the vials to?
There are several shops along the main strip of the road. Looks like about three small little shops right near you, in fact. As you seem to be off the main road, the old house that you're stepping out of seems slightly less crappy than before, but still in poor condition,
and yet unnoticed.
yet unnoticed by most people, it seems.
All right, then,
Oh, you must be the new neighbors. Hi.
yeah, gonna do some trading with those vials, Michael. I've got 33 of them. I'm gonna split it across the three shops,
All right, you'll be able to get half value for them
which is which they're normally valued at 1 gold, so I get 5 silver out of them.
per one.
And quick math, it should be 16 and a half, but I'll check. Yeah, so that's 16 gold, or 16. Sorry, math.
Take whatever the number is and divide it by two.
Yeah,
That's what you get in gold.
16.5 gold, which is. Sorry, I'm just vapor locking. 160 silver?
If that's what you want to be paid in, yeah, they'll be able to do silver easily. More convenient for them.
Yeah, 165 silver.
You got that plus the 20 gold appropriately to get you going. In
Yep.
addition to the strange copper coin and then the little box which is said to have something if you need help but to follow the instruction as it could be dangerous.
Yeah. Next, looking around, do they also have acid and alchemist fires available?
One of the shops did. One seemed to basically deal in general goods. Another one was kind of a little blacksmithing shop where they sold, didn't make. And then the other one dealt in alchemical goods and some general supplies.
Alright. Then I will offer to sell him some acid flasks and some alchemist fires.
He'll
Now,
inspect them and offer you half the value back.
Alright.
Standard sell.
2 alchemist fires and 5 acid. So,
Ash,
45 gold.
Yes, Estella.
correction, it's now Margaret.
Yes, Margaret. That's right.
It's okay, Jonathan.
That's right. I'm still getting used to these identities.
Shh.
Couple of women come walking by while you're waiting outside while Sam is inside dealing, and a couple of them look at Jonathan and just sort of glance over and then continue on as they look back over their shoulders at him again.
He,
She
he
kind of
gently
just
bows. He just gently bows down like, "Good day, milady."
she flicks him in the forehead.
Girl, what are you doing? Trying to be polite.
Yes, there's being polite and there's being smart. You don't openly say that shit.
That's what they always do in the old movie. I mean, in the old stories I've heard.
As Sam comes back
Dumbass.
out from the trading, goes,
And you can
Alright.
see the two of them arguing like brother and sister.
Or a married couple.
Brother and sister.
Margaret, Jonathan, will you two siblings stop arguing so much?
There we
Sorry.
go.
Sorry, Sam.
Well then, I've got some trading done, so we have some coin available now.
All right.
Okay.
So, let us get going and procure any supplies we need to. I don't think we need much, as we have most of what we need. Unless you know of something we actively need at this moment.
Ash starts to think for a bit. Let's see.
Basic supplies.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, we do have enough food. We do have food and water won't be much of an issue.
No.
We do. We
Whatever
can.
you had on you personally, all the other supplies were with them back in the other timeline.
Yeah. So honestly, I think wait, Cabo has an idea. She says we should just gotta around the town and get an idea of what this place has to offer before we head out, and even talk for a job.
Yes. Take a job while here? No. Also, Jonathan, Kabu doesn't exist here. If there's a
Mm,
message to pass along, just say, "Oh, I just thought of this," and then say it. Or make it sound like it came from you, because Jonathan doesn't exist. Or,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, Kabu does not physically exist.
good point. How's it?
Otherwise, you're going to attract unnecessary attention, you're going to make yourself look like an insane person, and then we're going to do something about that.
Ash is not. Alright,
As
Sam.
for getting your head fixed, that might be possible here if we find a powerful enough cleric, although it will be very expensive, and we do not have
How?
the funds for it currently. Not without offloading stuff that will attract a lot of attention.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And it's
I'll
not
be willing.
we're not capable of doing that in a place this small. I have goods that
Hmm,
we can trade that we can do that with. However, not here, not now.
Ash has not. I understand, Sam. Yeah, but what will be a good way to get money besides just selling our supplies? What's some other suggestions you have?
Follow the instructions as given. As for other supplies, we have stuff that we've acquired that is of value, but not to us. I kept all of it because I knew we would be able to sell it later. I didn't think it'd be this soon.
Ash starts to think it just really has a
Because
wait.
as a note to the DM, nobody uh accepted the little treasure items, the bracelet with opals and any of that.
True.
Ash,
Nobody
yeah,
declared they took it, so Sam still has all four of those plus the
yeah.
scepter.
And Ash is like, wait a second, Sam. If you're selling those items here, then that means that those items are suddenly going to return back in the present for you to find it only for us to go back in time. And his head starts, he just sort of gets confused.
Stop worrying about it because you don't need to. We have what we have. Don't worry about the rest. What will be will be. And what is. Worry about the present.
Ash just nods. Yeah, let's get going now, Sam and Margaret.
Yes. Well then. So DM, we're gonna check out the town, learn some tricks about the people, and courtesy and all that the basic stuff that we'll need to know.
You'll be able to walk around the town and chit chat with people and otherwise investigate. As mentioned, it only has about 300 or 400 people. It seems about 9 houses of value, and then the rest are smaller houses outside the town area for commoners and field workers. As for people coming in and out of town, there are quite a few travels, few wagons which will take people over to the next town. You can purchase rides on. Otherwise, you can always buy horses or just simply do it by foot.
We'll
Although,
take
considering your location that you're traveling to is the capital, and that is, well, you're not quite sure how far away it is, but based on the map, it looks like that could be a very long walk.
no, we'll take the wagon.
Yeah, no.
So you'll be able to proceed up to one of the areas where they basically keep the stagecoaches and such.
Michael, question:
And
when we go to the stagecoaches, Sam's gonna check the routes. Do any of them take them along other major towns and cities, or is it a straight shot?
there are about 3 stops, considering that the distance you'll be traveling will take you 3 months.
Hmm. So the instructions say to go to the capital next.
Capital to seek out a shop there and speak with an individual to pick up some items.
We go there, then the capital, right?
No, that is in the capital.
Oh.
So
Hmm.
instead of you guys having to hoof it on foot for about a month or
Oh my god.
more to get to the capital and fight your way through undead. Instead, you're going to have to take the scenic route, stop off on a couple of towns along the way, wait for the next carriage come through, ride that one to the next town, and then the next stop, go through some other, and then eventually get there in about 3 months' time.
I'm fine with that.
It would
No
be
wonder this mission's gonna take 2 years.
No,
You're
no.
traveling across basically the equivalent of like all of Japan, basically from tip to tip, in a wagon.
So right now there's no encounters or anything. Is there's no monsters here? Is
probably some monsters.
Oh,
There's
there's.
some probably monsters on the island and such, but it looks like the wagons, depending upon the quality you purchase, commoners would just basically be riding in simple little wagons. Merchants buy a little bit more, and nobles are fully guarded and protected with hired mercenaries and stuff. Some of the merchant ones cover the same too. And considering it's usually like three wagons going at once as part of a train or caravan, you
There
know,
you go.
it's protected.
Yeah, we're gonna
It's in
sign
good
up for the
care.
merchant one.
It's not
Hmm.
meant for speed, it's meant for like safety and travel. And above the uh, bus stop, let's call it, there's basically a holy symbol of Farlonan, as is there's like a little shrine of Palor in town. There's a little temple over to the side of Heronius. There's a lot of religious themes and actions here. There's people walking around with markings like colors similar to that of the gods in their clothing, or even like people carrying little good luck charms dedicated to like the gods and such. So this kingdom is highly religious.
Hmm. Well,
It's a shame what happens.
I don't know what you're talking about, Margaret.
Kind of when you piss off the gods that you honor so highly, especially the one that they hold above all, and then turn their back on him, you get a good smiting.
Although, one thing I will say, Margaret,
Hmm.
you will probably need to tone down the language just a little bit, considering half of what you normally say may take the gods in vain a little bit, and we don't want attention.
Ash just Ash just nods, and Kava agrees in his head.
Which you guys are just in time for noontime for the what sometimes is the daily or weekly execution of heretics, as they take two people, poorly dressed prisoners in shackle, up to the main stage. People start gathering around, start chanting the gods' names of death and such: Weejas, Nerul, Vecna. And the two people are basically pleading for their life, a man and a woman. And at which point the man is hung and the woman is burned alive. And people are chanting happily. As
Estelle,
basically a cleric of Heronius basically says, the God's will is done and these heretics have been punished for their actions. A criminal is dead, and a witch is punished for using her magic to torment people and manipulate merchants.
so Estella will hold up her hand. It's just like,
Ash just grabs her like, "Don't put any attention,
no, no,
Margaret."
not to that. More of, well, you need to go back in there. There's something I want to do.
Oh, back holds up her hand
Hmm.
and points back to the house we came from.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, you need to say the rest of the sentence. Because you just said holds up hand.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
why.
no,
Dramatic
no,
pause.
yeah, yeah, no. She's gesturing the vicinity of that place.
Yeah, you could have
Okay,
said
what's
we're.
up? And Sam will head back over
Uh,
there.
as
Walking through
soon
the
as they enter, she automatically changes forms into elven male counterpart and changes outfits. It's just like, okay, we're good now.
Hmm.
Oh, why did you have to do that though?
I don't want to die.
At
Uh,
which point, Sam may correct you on something.
uh-huh.
As you basically turn Elven, he sort of, Sam thanks for a moment, goes, you may not want to be an elf, as that's a little bit more attention grabbing. Because the two kingdoms on the island is Vale, which was a predominantly human kingdom, some dwarves and halflings, but mostly human. And then there was the other kingdom on the island, uh, Surathir, which is an elven kingdom. The two went to war and didn't have the best relationships beforehand.
Correct.
The
So
elves aren't outright not tolerated or hated or lynched on sight, but
they're
certain
disliked.
people may have animosity, not to mention if we're going to the capital, you're probably to get more heat on the matter.
Basically, it's irrigation, so you're gonna have to be
Just
not.
stick to what you were. And as Sam reaches into her bag, pulls out a +1 short sword, use this, not the one you summon. From my understanding, it will work the same, you just won't be able to throw it. Until we know more about what magics and abilities are accepted here, you won't get in trouble. Better to play it safe, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Uh, just to make sure I'm ultra safe, is I'm not going to have tits.
That works, that just means I am the merchant and have two male escorts. You're gonna need to go with a different name also.
A different dress.
And you want to get out of that dress.
Yeah, no, I figured as much. She
Yeah,
would.
but
The other thing
yeah,
is, you probably should have thought of this beforehand because we just walked around town for a while with two women, one man.
you're gonna ask where you went as
Maybe,
Margaret.
maybe not. There's a bunch of people coming and going.
Mhm.
Parted ways, and you haven't really talked to a whole lot of people. Sam mostly did alone. They were just outside chit chatting.
So I'd probably hold off on the form changing as much.
Oh, trust me, I don't do it that often.
You
Yeah,
sure?
so whatever form you're gonna stay, whatever form you're gonna take, just stick with it from now on. Don't just change your mind about it halfway through it.
And Lydia, I'm marking off the +1 short sword for you.
Alright, can I have the long sword?
Do you want the long sword instead?
I feel much safer with the long sword.
Add a character. Are you proficient with a long sword?
I am proficient. Oh, hold on.
She should be. It's just
Mind
Rogue a
Blade is what
mind
you've been
blade.
wielding, and that's a whole different thing.
Yeah,
Because rogues are not.
true.
I'm not sure what a mind blade's proficient with aside from
I'll check.
their
I'm
mind blade,
pulling it up right now.
mind blade stuff.
That is Mind Blade.
It's Soul
Oh, it,
Knife. Proficient with all
yes.
simple weapons.
Ah.
Not a long sword.
Uh,
A longsword isn't a simple weapon.
No,
no.
it's never been a
Martial.
simple weapon.
She takes the stupid short sword and is just like,
Rogue is
Ah,
proficient with short sword. And a short
As
sword is
well,
considered a
can I?
martial weapon.
Was it possible for me to use a longsword? I mean, as much as I would
you're a
prefer.
fighter,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
you're a
yes,
fighter,
you
you're
are proficient
proficient.
with all martial.
Yeah, since I much as I would prefer my weapon, I could see why using my actual ability might cause us alarm.
So then she hands you the longsword.
Thank you.
Yay for weapons.
Funniest part, you know where I got both those out of character?
From the corpses.
Two dead mercs.
Ha!
When Ghosty Merc started killing people.
It's like, hey, +1 sword. Hey, +1 sword. Here you go. I also still have a masterwork short sword and a +1 scimitar. And that great sword.
Oh joy.
So she takes a look at brain malfunctions at Ash, closer detail, examining him, and then takes a few modifications and
Now, brother.
yes,
So what name
Just
are
make
you
sure.
going with? Jonathan and Jerry?
I was going to
Or
say
Jim?
Or Dio. Just kidding.
No. Wouldn't
that's
fit.
a
Jasmine, Jessica.
Boy
was
named
going
Dio.
to
Sue?
I mean, Jonathan, Dio, and Enrico, you'd be like, you're gonna betray me, and then we're gonna have a battle, and she becomes a vampire, and
And then I have to
Damien.
beat you both down because you're causing problems.
Damien.
that worked.
Damien?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's period accurate.
Yes.
All right then. Still a little grumpy about not being able to wear her armor, but that's fine.
Before he
Yes,
leaves,
you can.
before he leaves, Ash does take the sword out and swings it a little bit just to get an idea. Very light. He would prefer swinging with both hands, but what he can do.
Longsword can be used two-handed.
I
Mm-hmm.
thought it could only be one hand because
Nope,
I
it's
thought
a
it said
No.
one
one hand.
or two.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do. Okay, I'll go with two-handed then.
It's listed as a one-handed, and all one-handeds can be wielded two-handed.
Okay,
Its
so it's just
light weapons are only one hand.
got it.
Can't really choke up on them.
There's nothing there
Mm-hmm.
to choke up on.
Okay, got it.
Rogues are also proficient with rapiers.
I don't
We
Yep.
have
still
one of
we don't
those.
have. I know.
I have a variety of weaponry. That's not one of them.
Yeah.
Aw.
But it's like if you were asking for scimitar, halberd, light mace, heavy mace. I have those. Greatsword, bastard sword.
So who has the coin in the box and all the goodies?
That all went back into the original
Back
bag of
to.
holding, which either
Mm-hmm.
Estella has or Estella's going to hand it to Sam. One of the two.
Estella still has the bag.
Okie dokie. Just trying to keep track of who has what. All
Stella's
right.
not gonna let the magic bag go.
I didn't think
So,
so, but
treat appearance take two.
Take two.
After the
And act.
whole burning of the stake, like, nope, nope.
Take two and action.
Two women and a guy went into that place, and two men came out and a girl. The witch, burn the.
and starts teleporting out.
Well, to be
Thump,
fair,
thump, thump,
they
and
actually. I think the only thing that noticed me were like the women. Even then, no one would probably believe them. But yes, I changed my picture to match.
and now we go over to the uh,
The stage
wagon
coach.
train, the
Stairs ride.
station, so we can get a ride. And we're gonna go with the merchant one.
All right. That'll be take it 3 people for ride. Where you headed?
Capital.
As the gentleman will look at you.
Doing some merchanty business along the way, but yes.
Okay. Gonna be about a 3-month trip, considering weather and occasional stops. Of course, you fine with that?
Yeah, the more stops we have, the more trading I can do.
Fair. Can't argue with you there. You may have some opportunity, although you need to be traveling light. Well, not my concern. Cost is 20 gold.
I hand him 20 gold.
Counts the coins, looks at them carefully. Very well. It will leave in the morning. Be here. Seats are available, so you can pick either stagecoach or either wagon to set in for the ride. They are covered and they do come with escorts.
Excellent. We will be there on time.
Good. Which point lets you know that they leave right before noon, 11. And you still have the rest of your day, which it's about noontime now. So you still have a whole half a day and all of night to kill.
Oh, this is perfect. Out of character.
Estella's
And
not happy.
Oh, no, 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 no. There's a reason why this is perfect.
Sell more shit.
No. Our cover is as merchants, right?
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, acquire goods that may need transporting or traveling to other towns that we can then trade and sell.
All right. Sure, we'll go with that.
So, DM, I'm going to go back through the marketplace, and this would probably be a gather information check,
Wait a second.
or Estella can do it, either way.
No, 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 no. This is something that was brought up a while ago. Either it was 2 or 3 sessions ago, those three weird magical skull things, while we were whacking upon that stupid wall, stupid rats, um, they looked at me as if I was a witch.
Uh huh.
You mean the ancient corpses of those barbarians,
Because of the mind
Yes.
blade you kept doing, right?
Uh huh.
Yeah, that's why I gave you the short sword.
which they weren't from this area or even time. Although, well, when you guys were, and even then they didn't match too much with appearance sake for this kingdom. So they were still out of place, but yet undisturbed.
So, we currently don't know if psionics is okay or if it's not.
Where that's why Ash took the
That's why
precaution
Sam
and took the
said,
sword.
use this till we find out if you're okay or not. Don't worry, Sam has done this, I
I
think.
mean, you already have a bunch of, like you said, jewelry items, so you could be traveling jewelers, sell stuff. I
Um,
already have a cover.
yeah,
Or
well,
jewel crafter.
5 items isn't a whole lot.
It's not on
Or
top of the magical weapons and our stuff, but
Which,
it's
who,
something to for a cover.
actually,
or jewelry socks.
Estella, out of character, Estella
Eh,
has a better charisma, doesn't she?
I
Or at
have
least gather
a
information?
I have a 14 and gather information thanks to the wonderful changeling ability.
Then why don't we have you work with Sam as far as doing the gather information? Probably you make the
All
roll,
right.
so we can figure out what we can take along the route that various towns might have interest in and we can trade and maybe profit from.
Oh
Actually,
wait,
I have a
that's geography.
I actually have a 15 charisma.
I
pretty
don't.
You have one above me, you dick.
Well, I don't know if either of you put ranks in it either.
guys are better looking or possibly have
Yeah,
better
I
personality
have.
than Sam.
I have. I have a good personality. That's a joke. Uh,
Sam has the
See,
appraise and the merchant knowledge. He doesn't have the people interaction.
mhm.
I don't have the okay. I don't have. Unfortunately, I don't have diplomacy, but I have intimidation.
No,
Fire shit.
it's gather information specifically.
I got a
Yeah, I know.
14.
I don't have gather information, so
You have a
you're gonna have to
14
gather.
modifier for gather information?
No, 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 no. I have a 5 in that, but I
Okay,
rolled
that's
a
why I was
14.
asking is gather information.
No, 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 no. My high stats are hide and
Oh yeah,
diplomacy.
that's why
No,
I kept asking. You kept saying, "Oh yeah, I got a 14." I'm like, "How the hell do you have a
You
14?"
rolled.
I rolled. I rolled a
Right.
14.
Okay.
My my highest skill is uh I have two. It's a hide, no, three. Search, hide, and open lock.
Craft weapon, appraise, spellcraft are my three
All right.
Oh,
highest.
and the second one's disabled device.
That'll
But yeah,
take you about 2 hours to walk around, gather some information, and also grease some palms with 2 gold worth in cost.
I,
Clear that quickly.
I can cover that with ease.
all right then.
Were you saving the 20 we got from the provider as an oh shit?
I figure you use that 20 to basically pay for the ride to the
Actually, yeah,
capital.
would have been used to pay for that. Part of me forgot about it and part of me didn't. So I'll pay the 2 gold for greasing palms and getting intel.
I just realized that she's a short man.
At which point you'll be able to walk around and talk to people, ask a few questions that weren't two shops you traded with earlier. And considering the route that you're taking and the places you're going through, most likely trade will be primary interest is weapons and armor right now, as tensions are high with the filthy elves, and also that in other magical goods. But of course, standard things do sell quite well, such as jewelry is always appreciated in the capital, and of course, the 2 towns along the way have high mining rights and everything, so jewelry's precious metals sell quite well.
She
Alright.
will take all the stuff and like mentally think to herself, and Aquan is like, oh god, it's a sausage party almost.
And who do you think's responsible for that?
Yeah, but it's more of, oh shit, I just saw a woman get burned at the stake. They're not going to listen to me at all.
And yet you realize Sam's thus far been the one in charge of the whole group, and nobody has said shit.
They don't have a problem with women to where they're treating them like secondhand citizens. It's just that she did some bad things, like she was using her magic to manipulate men with charm person and swindling merchants and stuff, and so she got burned for abusing magic and doing bad things. Basically, for being a con artist.
Mm-hmm. The
Oh,
rogue got caught.
oh no. Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
The,
no.
the one guy was a criminal, and she was basically a con artist, and both got put to death.
My entire. Oh
You're
no.
this is not good for your existence. Look, good thing Ash is good, and so it's good thing Sam and Ash are both good people. They're not lawful people, but they're still good people.
Off in the corner crying.
Cry
I'm
on your
not
own time. We got
crying.
work to do.
Bunch
Yeah,
of people that you pretty much walk by seem to be talking about temples quite often and wanting to travel far and wide to go visit many of the gods' temples here and there. One of which they keep remarking as astonishing and a beautiful place to see, and also at a wonderful location is one down near the beachfront. The temple is grand in design. The clerics there are wonderful. The way that they deal with the dead and put the undead to work on the battlefield and farming is incredible. How they reuse the garbage of society, the homeless and the destitute, the criminals and slaves. It's just a miraculous place to go to. And the way that they burn the sinners at night, it's a sight to see. Palor's actions are done well.
Hmm. Add a character. Been there.
Uh,
poor
That's
Just.
not
for poor Forestella. After all this, she's no longer going to be chaotic. 'Cause she's been a good girl, isn't that
No,
right?
Just
she's
want to
gonna be
go.
broke mentally. That's what she's gonna be.
I'm surprised you would. Yeah, at this point, I think it's safe for you to. I think you're gonna have to end up retiring as Stella because her sanity is just gonna keep breaking.
nah, she's a changeling. She can adjust and adapt quite
Mhm.
well.
He doesn't necessarily have to like it.
Oh yeah, no, no, no. She's absolutely hating everything that's coming out of their mouths.
Yeah. So, Michael, if there's stuff available for like trade goods, would like to pick that up that would go well over there, or if there's stuff that she can buy a little bit cheaper here and then sell it a little bit better over there. If I need to make like an appraise roll to figure out what some of that would be, I will.
Basically what they have they can part with is they have some jewelry and such that you can buy for a decent trade. Otherwise, you can go with basic trade goods out of the player's handbook, probably like iron bars, which would sell quite well since you're going to a mine town. They probably already have that, but it would hold its value because weaponry, wartime coming up, and everything. They could use the materials. Not going to really lose value, and it would help the merchant. But if you're going through mining towns, not so much. If you could buy any magical weapons and stuff, you could sell those for value, although you may end up taking somewhat of a loss trying to buy and then resell them for full value. So you don't have shops or paperwork, and the towns seem to be pretty strict on proof of mercantile capability and sales, and you have no paperwork or identification. So if you start selling a bunch of stuff, questions may arise. You may find yourself scrutiny.
Well, all right. So need paperwork for big stuff. Do you need paperwork for little stuff?
One or two cells here and there, they seem to care about the vials or you offloading little things here and there.
Because it doesn't break like 100 gold value.
Pretty much it seems. Oh, alchemist fires? Okay, just offloading something. Oh, some vials used up. Oh, no big deal. You start selling magical goods or declaring yourself as a merchant trying to sell a bunch of fancy jewelry, they may want to see your papers and approval. And when you can't present them, you start walking off, eyes may start to raise some brows.
Whenever we get the chance, we should check out to see if adventurers are.
Yeah. Is it possible to get papers here?
In this town, no. It doesn't seem like it's a large enough city to do that. It's just almost like a stopping station, considering how
So,
small.
I just got PM'd this. Well, I got PM'd it a couple minutes ago, but isn't Estella just basically a magical pirate?
Kind of.
That's pretty accurate. I
Kinda,
mean, you
yeah.
summon up blades, you alter your appearance. Yeah, you're jack of all trades. You are a magic pirate.
And it's my favorite character in Game of Thrones.
You just looked it up. You just looked at what I sent you, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Random, but okay.
Stella's gonna have to be a good girl. No.
With
Not
eyes
hardly.
twitching.
Alright, so if we can't get papers, trade in only little stuff. Alright.
Seems like they're pretty thick on the laws and regulation in the kingdom.
Uh,
So,
uh,
is there any trade goods that would be worth picking up and moving over there that we might make a small profit off of?
Considering this is somewhat farmland, you could buy up like flour or wheat, other basic grains, try to sell that off. But yet again, that would bring into question of your merchant status. Otherwise, you could buy some iron bars, not a lot.
I hope there's a fucking flea bottom area like this shit in the capital. Then I'm gonna be at home.
Considering the capital has ports and a navy, thus has sailors and stuff, it is quite possible you might be at home.
Oh my god, the moment she arrives there, she's going straight to the bar and going back to the OG form.
No, we're going straight to the contact, because then we can probably get papers and probably be legit about whatever we do, including you getting drunk. Because then you'll have identification.
Can I get identification for generic person?
Probably not.
Uh, damn it.
Alright, no real trading I can do.
They're probably going to. I hope they have it as actually Estella. Then I don't have to do all that shit. Yes, my parents hated me. That is why I was named Estella.
Well. Alright, so I guess we'll just pass time then.
Yay.
Find
Time
an
will
inn and stay
fly
for the night.
by. You will be able to rest in your
Oh, that's right, we have a house.
newfound enjoyable situation.
I forgot we have a
Surprisingly,
house.
no one seems to notice or bother with the house there that's ran down, almost to creepy extent,
Probably
as
got
if
an
they just
enchantment on
ignore it.
it of do not look here, we do not exist.
Possible. I mean, people see you walk by it, but when you're going inside or you're looking out the window, they'll look at you, but it's like they're not even looking at you through the window.
Oh,
Like
it's probably some sort of like time illusion.
We're here, but we're not here. Maybe.
pretty much some kind of like aversion or whatever to where you do not notice it. You just
Mhm.
ignore.
Yeah, it's almost like a glamour of it's there, but the enchantment is it prevents you from really taking notice and gets you to look away.
No interest, nothing there, doesn't catch your eye, you don't care, you just keep moving on.
It's just a house,
Although you
just like
guys
all the
seem
other
to
houses.
be unaffected or immune somehow,
Because we
Time
were
shit.
already because we came from inside of it.
possibly.
That or the fly thingy did it.
She just kind of.
Oh well.
Well, I guess it's now he. Man, I'm fucked in this setting, ain't I?
At
Well,
least until
you're
we
with
get.
people,
You're
so you can
fucked.
kill living creatures again.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with undead. What bullshit are you talking about? The one probably the most that might be in trouble is me.
Really? Oh,
Why?
You
yeah.
can shift form, you have diplomacy, you have a hat of disguise on top of your changeling abilities, you have a bunch of outfits, you can hurt living people. Yeah, you got skill
You are the
monkey
ghost in
abilities.
the crowd, woman.
More of her personality.
Ash is fine for the most part, but Sam is better talking things out, and Estella can just.
The
She's
problem
gone.
Sam has is she can't do most of what she normally does. She can't be
Mm-hmm.
the merchant to sell what she has because it draws too much
Draws too
attention.
much attention.
She can't just start blasting things with spells because that draws attention. Can't necessarily just whip out a weapon and start chopping things apart.
Draws
True.
attention.
Because local laws and customs you guys aren't familiar with here. Also, if things are high tensions, any adventurers or actions carrying too many weapons, selling stuff you're not supposed to, could get the guards come barreling down on you, question you, apprehend you, take your stuff, and start wondering who the hell you are.
Which is why the only thing she's wearing right now
Discretion.
are gloves, which are actually disguised gauntlets, I think. I gotta check my
With you
equipment
guys
list.
dressed in mercantile styles and having a few weapons on you, which could be for show or self protection. Doesn't mean you're good with them. Not too bad so far.
Yeah, a weapon does not draw attention. Multitude of weapons draws attention.
Going to a
This
shop and selling about 6 or 7 swords in a pre wartime era? Where'd you get all those weapons?
Had
What's
them.
going on here? What are you selling? Why? Who are you? Where'd you come from?
That's why I split those potion vials up.
Estella's just like, come on, guys, I want to see the ocean again.
Oh, I think you might be able to see some. You might be able to see a river. That counts, right?
Yeah, let's see.
Water is water, is not salt water.
Stuff I can offload. Plus one
I'm sure
scimitar.
if you,
Masterwork short
I'm
sword.
sure if you scream and cry enough, it'll
Masterwork
become
armor.
salty.
Two light
I want my
maces.
sea.
Yeah, I have stuff I can offload and sell. I have a lot of stuff.
The food. Eh.
Although honestly, most of what I want isn't straight money. It's materials.
So you would, oh, it would be like a trade at a medieval fair where, if you wanted some sort of a cloak or something, you would trade one of your crafts for it.
Kind of, except I
Artists.
want mats for crafting magic things.
Oh,
We've got 3 months. Do you know how much shit I can make in 3 months?
and three. I'm gonna have a dick for 3 months.
Have fun using it.
On what?
Exactly.
It's just a joke.
I'm going to wind up having to buy a chastity belt or some bullshit.
So, DM, we're just going to pass time for the moment.
Yeah.
At least you're far enough back in time to where you could only possibly be your great great grandmother.
Only for them. The other me's
Great,
still
great,
walking
great, great,
around at
great,
this point.
great, great, great. Who knows how many great grandmothers?
This is only the 800s.
So good. Maybe it's a, so maybe now is a good time to stop, at least for now.
We will stop here with you guys resting in the rickety old magic imbued house with the box looking like a regular rickety old box, as the rest of your equipment is in bags of holding and old clothing.
Basically, what you will see, like, the entire time while she's in there, the entire rest of the night, she's going in between male and female forms, trying to figure out which one she wants.
Mm, mm,
Well, you're kind of
mm,
already screwed.
mm,
You're stuck with
mm,
mail.
mm.
Yeah.
Because congratulations, you we paid for the trip
Wait for
as
the trip as
males.
male. Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. But it's still one of those cases where, like, this one or this one, this one or this one.
Sam's gonna reveal the fact of like, Estella.
Shut up. Let me have this.
You guys do know that one thing that is legal, at least in this kingdom, is slavery.
Yeah,
Legal or not legal?
it
It is
is.
legal.
Oh God.